Hello, Fetch.ai community. This is cryptoFOXXY. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel. I know we talked a lot about things that are bothering the community in terms of Fetch.ai and Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, and I'm here with the CEO and founder, Humayun Sheikh. He is here to help answer any questions that the community has. And I have compiled a ton of questions from you guys, and I really appreciate all you guys reaching out with your questions and comments for support as well. So please help me welcome Humayun Sheikh. He is the CEO of Fetch.ai and chairman of the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. So as I said, I've put together a list of questions that have been recurring on social media, and I focused on community concerns over the last few months. Questions that you all have been asking, and I hope that together we can gain some clarity here today. And I do ask that you please be respectful in the chat. So I'd like to get us started on a positive note. Let's begin by bringing on Humayun here. And I thank you so much, sir, for joining me here today.
Thank you, cryptoFOXXY. Really appreciate the opportunity. I'm always here to answer community questions, and hopefully we will try and answer as many as we can. Very open, and be as open as you want, and don't hold back. Please ask. Whatever is bothering the community, I'm here to answer.
I appreciate that, and I think the community is as well. I know, there has been a lot of, discourse and people angry about their investments, and we want to get to, the bottom of some of these most pressing questions. So I'm going to get us started on a bit of a positive note. So let's begin with product and ecosystem side of ASI. So this is where we're going to pretty much explore the innovations and user experiences that people are seeing, and this is the heart really of the project. So we'll focus first on ASI 1, including community feedback about performance and strategies to enhance the visibility and usability beyond the crypto world, right? So first question, users are saying that ASI 1 can be super inaccurate, unreliably slow, sometimes freezing when trying to access agents, or focuses too much on quantity instead of quality. How are you looking to fix these issues, and what updates are coming to make it more accurate and user-friendly?
We're improving every day. So if you look at where we started from 3 months ago, 4 months ago, to where we are today, you'll see a marked difference. We are releasing different models because, I mean, I don't want, without getting into too much technical detail, every model does something specific. In certain cases, you need it to be very descriptive. You need it to be a ponderer. You need it to reason out what you actually want. So, for example, where we are focused is more agentic system. Agentic system, multi-agent system, means that you're going to break up your task into smaller chunks, and those smaller chunks need to be properly reasoned so that you don't get what is coming out wrong. And then you have to go and find the agents which correspond to it. It is still in development, it is still in progress, but we wanted the community to see it because the community was saying, hey, you guys are not releasing products. So we said, here you go. This is work in progress. So please treat it as work in progress. And as you probably know, and I'm sure you've done several reviews on it, and I'm also seeing the community response, it's improving day by day. We are onboarding, in effect, we are onboarding around 15 to 18,000 people every month who are using our APIs. And in certain cases, yes, it might be slow, and again, there is a lot of work happening to increase it, but we want to stay true to where we are. The decentralized compute is not there. It's not as good as centralized compute. So people who are from the decentralized community should know that that is always going to be a little bit of a hindrance. And we're trying to fix it by adding more compute, and our alliance members are adding more compute into this system so that we can get faster and faster. So we encourage users and communities to use it. We are improving every single day, and you will see the difference from day one to now. And as I was saying, and I think we're going to talk more about the numbers, but approximately 15 to 20,000 new unique users we are onboarding every month. I know it's not millions, but it's better than nothing. And we are looking at an increase every month. So month on month, that number is increasing. And as we improve the product, I think we're gonna see kind of a hockey stick growth as soon as we kind of get to that point.
And you say that decentralized systems are not quite as good as centralized. Is that because of funding, mostly?
Well, it's multiple reasons, right? So you have a system which is a lot more complex, and that's why decentralization is not easy. So if you're taking compute and you're putting it in one place, and we deploy 10,000 GPUs, which we don't have the money for, right? Then it will of course be a lot faster, a lot more efficient. We are trying to do this in comparison. So if you look at all the LLM companies that exist and their LLMs, they have spent tens of billions of dollars. What have we spent? Yeah, we're not even worth right now as an alliance. It's not worth $1.6 billion. And I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the funding does make a difference, but more importantly, putting it in a centralized place to then taking it and then decentralize and using a decentralized compute network will always be slightly slower. And we're trying to find fine-tuning and improvements to make it faster. So we're not, in comparison to where we were today, we're not as slow. So we're getting
Mhm.
faster. But you have to also understand the purpose we're using this for is not just search. It's finding agents and doing things slightly differently. So, the instant gratification economy, this is not just for that. It's more to do with how do we do planning? How do agents come in place? How do they orchestrate a task? That takes time.
Understood. Yeah, and I do see it getting quicker. Things are definitely moving along in the right direction. I know I've introduced people who are not even into crypto to the app, and my boyfriend actually uses it quite regularly when he's at work. He runs a kitchen, menu creation, recipes, that kind of thing. Helps him kind of word things properly, and it's definitely something that I've been adding to my everyday routine. So it is
It's free.
useful.
It's free.
And it's
You know,
free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's free. Yeah. Yeah, and the
and
more we use
the
it, the
only
more
thing
feedback we can provide too.
The only thing you need to do if you want to overuse it, just put some FET in it, which is what we said we will do. We want to take the supply out of the market in multiple ways of using product to do that rather than just buying it and stuff. But
Okay,
anyway, we'll come to that point.
awesome. Okay. All right, so let's go to our next question. What is your plan to make ASI1 more known to the public outside of the crypto space, like I had mentioned? Is wide-scale marketing something the ASI team is working on, and kind of how are you going to achieve that?
So I'm going to do slight correction here. Today I'm representing Fetch.ai, although I am part of the alliance, and of course there will be points where I will make around the alliance itself. Um, but as a product, this is a fetch-based product, and actually the agentic system is also very fetch-based, although the whole stack is not. I mean, we have the compute we talked about. That's another alliance member. Kudos, as you know, some of
Kudos,
the
yeah.
algorithms we use, the accuracy, the algorithms is coming from Singularity, and some of the data tools comes from Ocean. So, but I'm just putting that slightly aside, and I'm kind of representing what Fetch and Fetch Foundation and Fetch project in itself is doing. And I'm very happy to touch on ASI Alliance, but my focus is the product. So as a product goes, ASI1 is a Fetch product. ASI1 is actually the model name which we gave, and that's to be true to the Alliance again. But to then answer your question, are we planning on some kind of mass market approach? Yes, we are, but we are still not done with the products yet. So we have to be, if we're going to go to mass market, if we're going to go outside of crypto and actually put this in users' hand, the product has to be good enough to do that. And at the moment, we are working hard, and I think that probably is one of the reasons you don't get that many updates, because I'm actually a hands-on person. I run the teams, I work with the teams, so it takes time. And we are as fast as we can, trying to improve the product and trying to go and find partnerships out of the crypto space where the utility of this product improves. So that's definitely on the cards. It's not going to be very long. In the next couple of months, you'll see quite a few things getting launched. More and more things are coming. We'll talk about some more things which are coming. And yes, we will be going out in the market, and we will be doing a proper marketing and a launch around it. There's a lot of interesting things which you don't see yet, but they're coming very soon. So you'll start seeing them in the next 2 weeks, and you'll appreciate what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We
So
can some of them, so we can touch on them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you kind of view the ASI one LLM to be in kind of more of a beta phase then, or like kind of where's that at for those who are kind of familiar with those types of terms?
Well, I mean, it's beta, but it's quite extended beta, I guess, because we are getting people use it, right? So we're still getting feedback, we're still improving, but it's out in the market. So it's not a full product yet, but we are getting closer and closer. But what I don't believe that we should just build one big product and then launch it. I like it to be in the market, being tested, and find the problems right away, get some feedback in, and improve. So that's the philosophy we work on.
Okay.
So we don't want to just keep building and building and not showing.
Right. Okay. So we're like you figure maybe like you say about months away from kind of pushing it out there. Like what's your time frame on that kind of?
Yeah, again, I mean, pushing it out there is not going to stop after a couple of months. We will start the campaigns after in a couple of months, and we will then carry on with it, because as we release new features, more and more use will come to ASI one, the model itself, the application, the agentic system, the agentverse, because now we're seeing a lot of people who were, I mean, we provided so many more tools that people are actually starting to build agents. We're releasing a coding platform based on ASI one model, which will enable you to, just like Claude or Gemini's coding or OpenAI's coding, but more focused on building agents, because ASI one is only the entry point where you can use it just like any other LLM. But the key differentiator, which is there, is the discovery and connectivity with agents. So you can even now you can go in and you can actually turn the agent system on, and you can actually speak to multiple agents. You can speak to people. So you can create your agent, I can create my agent, I can speak to your agent, and I can actually do that on ASI one. There's no other project which is doing it, but now take that to the next kind of level, because the groundwork is done. You can see how brands could be communicating with their customers. You don't have to go 10 places. You don't have to go and search don't have to go to the website. You can do it from one place. So you've got to kind of start to extrapolate where we're going here, which is one place of entry, and then you have agents you can communicate directly, and you can build these plans, and you can actually execute these and orchestrate these tasks in one platform, which doesn't exist anyway. So of course it's going to be a tough job.
Yeah,
and
I was wondering if
in a decentralized way, right?
Right, exactly. And I was leaning towards the AI agent specific area that you're talking about, where the LLM interacts with agents. Is there any other platform out there that you're aware of that does something similar to that, or is that kind of unique to ASI one?
It is very unique to us. Speaking to an agent mean different things to different people. I mean, do you actually go on another platform and build an agent by clicking 3 buttons? No, there's not that many. You can't just set up an agent. But if you go and sign into ASI one, you already have an agent. And if I go to my ASI one and I know your agent's address or name, I can type in and I can say, oh, this is Angela's agent, cryptoFOXXY's agent. Tell me something more. So you can actually set your personality up, and other people can communicate with you without you physically communicating with them. They can give you based on your social media, based on your posts, based on your videos. You can answer a lot of the questions without even lifting
So
a
I can
finger.
almost assume my personality. That's interesting. Okay.
You want it to, and you can do that right now. I mean, most
Hmm.
people have not discovered that feature because we are going to make this kind of discovery phase in the next coming weeks and in the month. But we are releasing the features, and they are there. It's just wrapping them up in the nice interface. We haven't started that work yet.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. All right, so let's jump into revenue. This is more of a revenue-based question. This is something that I hear a lot. We're just going to shift gears into this part because everything you've said so far kind of leads me up into this next question. How does this bring in revenue? Essentially, how I know you're here with Fetch.ai in representing Fetch.ai, but how is the alliance right now making money? And are you able to share or will share any revenue streams publicly in the future?
Uh, the answer to this last question is yes, we will share the revenue streams with public, but let me line up what the revenue streams look like. So if you look around and you want to use a large language model, you have options. You have kind of limited options. Some of them are open source, but they still have to be hosted. They still have to be limited, rate limited, because you can't just go unlimited. So there is a revenue stream which will come from there. Currently, all you need to do, because it's a trial product, all you need to do is stake or lock up 100 FET for X number of requests per day. Now, what is happening is that we are seeing a lot of businesses who are integrating with our APIs. Now, their demand or their requirement of hitting the API is much, much higher than individuals. So there is a charging mechanism there. But at the moment, we're just trialing so that we fulfill their requirements. As I was saying, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but we can kind of so out of the 14 or 15,000, we're probably expecting the people we're onboarding, 4 to 5,000 are actually businesses or projects who are actually using the API. So they are paying customers. So, and we're allowing them to use it without payment at the moment, but over the next, as they've built the product within the next few weeks, we are going to start charging. So that's one revenue stream.
Mhm.
Then we go on to the next revenue stream, which is if you're going to build an agent and if you want to be represented, if you're an influencer, if you're a business, if you're a brand, and you're going to be represented by agents, the more connectivity you want to give to the agent, the more knowledge and context you want to give to the agent, you will have to pay for it. If you want to run the agent, it's not going to be for free. So there will be a charging mechanism there. And but the first thing we do is if we put a barrier to entry and a charge, a paywall straight away, then people don't adapt. And unless people see the utility, unless people get used to it, and they see, yes, I mean, you can see this model in all the tech companies. You have the freemium product, and then you start charging. That's exactly what we're going to do, and that's what we are aiming to do. So, but to get to that, we need to have the product right, and that's what we're getting right. So then you have that's the next running an agent is going to be registering an agent. You're having your agent name because that becomes like your web address. That will be charged, and you'll have to maintain it per annum, which will be again this is a very kind of tethered into the blockchain itself to run and to have that name, to have the agent address. You're going to pay. So that's another revenue stream. We're launching, as we were speaking just before, we're launching Fetch Coder, which is going to enable you to do coding, just like Claude or any of the others do, but at a fraction of the price because we didn't spend billions. So we can enable that for developers at a much cheaper rate. So you can do all your Web3 smart contracts. You can, I mean, I think we published a video only a few days ago. You can actually write smart contracts with just prompting, and you can get them tested. You can get them deployed. You can do the same with agents. You can write any code in any language. We will be bringing that to the market. Actually, I think in the next week. So you'll be seeing that. So you're hearing it here. And so we haven't been sitting there twiddling our thumbs. We have actively been working on product because without the revenue, there is no without the utility, there's no revenue, and without the revenue, there's no there's nothing. I mean, we might as well be a failed project if we don't generate that revenue.
That's true, and I've seen that question asked a lot, over, the course of, months or even years, like, how is the alliance bringing in money, and how is it, able to, give you guys the funds to kind of progress things, and, that does explain things quite a bit, so it's kind of are you always going to have some kind of a free model, free-based LLM side of things for people just to kind of bring people in?
Yeah, we have to we have to follow what works, right? So in technology, freemium models work. But if you think about it, if you can get your questions answered and a small few things, you're not a heavy user as a person. Unless you become a heavy user as a business, you're using a small amount of compute, right? So you're asking questions, you're getting some answers. As soon as you get into like high utility, then we have to charge you because somebody has to pay for it. So of course the revenue will start coming in. We expecting people to become more and more used to this, but to bring to them the product which they become more used to, it takes time, and that's the time we're spending. And that's the I mean, it's not like you can't. I don't think the community can say, "Hey, you guys have not released any products." I mean, that was the problem a year ago because we were
Yep.
working and we were not releasing because we had to be at that point. So we dispelled that disbelief that, hey, you guys are never going to release a product. Well, we have released a product almost every week. We have released a feature, we have released a product. We've done that. And we're still going to continue to do that. I've just told you we have Fetch Coder come. It takes time, guys. Come on.
That's true. It does take time, and I think most people are just getting frustrated with just the lack of communication and addressing the features that have been added. But it seems like you guys are working a bit on that, and you're a little bit more forthcoming and letting us know like what features are being added and stuff like that, which makes my job a bit easier as well because
We released
you know
plenty of posts, Twitter posts, we blog posts. I think you're one of the people who actually takes it and explains it. Where maybe we just don't explain it enough, but we are actually publicizing all the features that we're releasing and the agents because we're building and showcasing agents every week, multiple agents every week, right? That's all
that's true.
part of the
That's true. I just ask that openness and that communication stays because I'm enjoying seeing some of the updates and the progress that you guys are seeing, and as long as that continues, that's great with me. All right, so
Well,
we'll go on to the
we made that change based on the community's feedback, and we at least we have something to show. We're releasing. I mean, majority of the projects in crypto space don't. What did it release? Nothing.
a lot of it's vaporware. A lot of it is, yeah. They promise and promise and promise, and that's the thing. Sometimes they overpromise, underdeliver. It should be the other way around, in my opinion. But
Which is
like
why
I
I
didn't
don't.
even know.
I just released
Yeah.
it. I mean, we try and release it before we tell you what we're going to be releasing.
And then people almost have it in their head, the expectations of what it should look like, and then, if it's not exactly what they thought, then they're disappointed. And, I didn't even know that the LLM was coming out. It's just boom, it was there, and, and I
And
stay up to date on the news.
would you not think that it takes time and effort and or to
Oh, yeah.
build a project, and
Yep,
and we did it quietly, but we didn't want to tell you, hey, we're going to release it, like, I mean, some other projects said we're going to build the best LLM. I mean, we're still waiting, and here we just released it.
yeah, that's true, that's true. I appreciate that because that's and in terms of being an investor, those types of events sometimes are buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So you release a product and then boom, your price goes down. Everybody knew that the product was coming, and then the community is frustrated because hey, you released this awesome product, but now the price goes down. So that's kind of a crypto thing that I kind of understand why you do it the way you do it, and in terms of that as well, like you're talking about monetizing the LLM in terms of using agents and advancing compute with corporations and businesses and things like that. Is this going to be something that will be paid in FET, or will you branch out and accept other terms, other payment systems as well for people who aren't in crypto?
We are going to accept FET payment, but we have to be very practical. If we're bringing people from outside of crypto, they would want to pay using credit cards, and they will be
Right.
allowed to pay using credit cards. What we will then do is convert that revenue or portion of that revenue back to buying the FET and then taking that FET, and that brings me to earn and burn. It's not just burn, burn, and burn. It's earn and burn. And that's what we have been publicizing, that we need to create the revenue. We need to then convert that revenue or part of that revenue into the FET token and either distribute that to the community or as a dividend. But we are not a dividend holding security. We have to do different things differently. So we will be buying FET using the revenue that is generated. But I think I urge the community to actually just try and understand what is happening here. We are releasing the product. Most people don't release the product. When you release the product and you can see there is a direct revenue model, then please just bear with us, because we are going to generate the revenue, because you can see the product coming. And the product will generate the revenue, and the revenue will generate the buyback that we've been asking for. I mean, there are other ways of buyback, and we'll come to that question. But you must see the cycle that is happening. If I did not give you a single product and I kept talking about the product, then there is something wrong. I mean, if after 4 years, 5 years worth of development, I gave you no product, then I feel it's justified to say, hey, you guys have delivered nothing. But we have been delivering.
Right. I do agree that you have been delivering. I do agree with that. And we'll get more into the burn topic a little bit later in the live stream here. So let's go on to our next topic. So this is still in terms of revenue under that same category, but some have been skeptical of the trainer deal, the TRNR deal, since day one, saying that no large purchases have been noted on chain where they were supposed to make purchases. And are the buys from them already completed? And do you have any partnership updates with them to share with us?
Yes. So if you look at what I told the community in the past as well, effectively the Treasury purchase is done by a private company, a public company, TRNR. TRNR obviously spoke to us, and we did a technology partnership agreement. And of course, they are starting to use ASI 1 in their products. They're starting to use agentic system. We're building agents for them. Again, that will take some time. So the question then comes to, did they finish the purchase? The answer, very direct, is yes. They bought approximately $50 million worth of FET from the market. They bought it, and they actually issued a news publicly around it. So that's done. What is happening now is there is a custodian, which is BitGo, and BitGo was completing the staking on the Fetch network. There was a delay from their side for the technical integration. What is now going to happen is that $50 million worth of FET is going to be staked on the Fetch network or the ASI network. That is going to happen. And actually, I can disclose this because this is going to be very public. I'm having a conversation about bridging the tokens into the Fetch network as we speak. I'm getting messages. My tech team is working with them to create that bridge so they can stake it on the Fetch network. So over the next, and I am not going to give you a timeline. This is almost happening now. I don't know how long the technical integration will be or how long it will take them to bridge. They have their own regulatory requirements. I can't comment on that, but it's happening, and you will see that amount of Fetch token being staked. Now, this is the TRNR deal. So that's done. We're also looking to raise further money. They are, not me, because I can't.
Right.
I can't either personally or as Fetch be involved in it. They have to do their own thing, but they are looking, and there are a couple of other companies who are looking to raise in excess of $250 million to actually do exactly the same. Please do not treat this as a financial indication or advice, but the community wants me to be open, and I'm trying to be open.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So is this so they're trying to raise additional funds to have, additional tokens. Will they also be, staked on the network, that kind of thing as well?
Of course,
Yeah,
it,
cool.
everything will be going to be staked on the network because that's our requirement, effectively, in kind of helping them build the technology. But what I don't want to do is, and we kind of you appreciate, we were kind of the first, maybe a couple who started this whole trend, just like we
Yeah.
started all the other trends, which is we're going to take these tokens and you're going to put it on the Fetch network. You will then receive some return from it because you're going to have staking rewards. The staking rewards will go to pay the investors so they can actually leave the tokens locked up for 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, or forever. We don't know. The objective I have here is to suck up the supply from the market. That is the way to do it, either using revenue to suck the supply up, because burning doesn't mean anything if all you're going to do is burn the token and your ranking in the whole market cap goes down, then your trading goes down. So what did I achieve for the community? We have committed and we will carry on with earn and burn. But what you have to understand is pulling out 200, 300 million tokens out of the market, 400 million tokens out of the market, reducing the supply should have the desired effect. And and actually staking that much on the network to secure the network where now the agentic transactions are going on is what we need. And so we have to do it in the right way. I'm not just going out and saying any company can just go and buy the treasury. I mean, we will support. We're not going to support. I mean, anybody can go and do that anyway. But
That's right.
if
Yeah,
we want
it's decentralized.
technical integration, they will need the FET token. They will need to hold the FET token. They will need to consume it, and to do that, we need to help them adapt or adopt the technology that we're building. I mean, without naming any names, we're looking at a possible partnership where we will have 15 to 20 million mobile devices using ASI1 and agentic systems. We're in the process of having this conversation. We've done the LOI. We're going to the next stage in the next couple of weeks. August was a write-off because everybody goes on holiday. I can't do anything
Yes.
about it.
Yeah. It's the same as all of crypto basically in the summer. It's kind of hit and miss because people are on holidays and they don't really want to pay attention to markets as much. So it's a little hit and miss, but that's good that getting back into things and getting some of these deals, because I think the trainer deal was the first of its kind. So you're obviously learning from that, and going to kind of expand on that and grow from there. And so, do you have other? You mentioned that there was another deal kind of in the works, but do you have other companies knocking on your door?
We have several, but we want to do, as I said, I'm not. I mean, they want me to give them discounts. I am not into that, so we're not going to do that because that's
Okay.
something which it's like Liberty or any of the others who've done this. They ask the foundations for 30-40% discount. We cannot afford that. I don't think that's the right way to do it, and I don't expect to do it unless other people want to do it with their tokens. I mean, I can't stop anybody, right? I mean, if you hold a big chunk of tokens and you want to do the same treasury deal, you can also do it. I mean, it's not for me. I want to do a transaction, or a transaction which is not financial, which is more technical integration. So technical integration is where my focus is. And why? Because then they will consume the FED token to run the product, for which they will need the FET token, and for which they will need to buy the FET token. And if they want to buy it and hold it in their treasury, then it's up to them. And that works for me because that works for the community. But now, I mean, the problem is with a lot of people who comment on this. Oh, well, somebody bought 50 million tokens. Now, what do if they dump it? I mean, what? Okay, I mean, anybody could do that. I mean, how am I meant to control it? How's the foundation meant to control it? We didn't sell them the tokens. They went and bought it from the market.
That's true. That's true. And that's why I don't like seeing, like I mentioned before, the with the pump and dump and buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't like seeing, certain things be advertised before they happen. And it's like even burn mechanisms. Like if people know exactly when you're going to burn, they're going to buy right before that and try to make a couple bucks out of that, and then they're just going to go away. That doesn't reward long-term holders. That's just a few things that I've noticed in being community members.
Which is exactly my point I was coming to, which is I can't just announce the bloody burn at the time and give you or everybody a notice, because I'll be had by the regulator. I mean, if the regulator comes to get me, they can easily get me. Because, I mean, me and my fellow directors are going to be in shit, really. So we can't do that. We're
Basically,
running a
yeah.
serious project. I don't intend to dump my token and run away. That's not, I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here with you after 5 years of running this project. We're trying to build something meaningful. We're not going to be a meme coin economy. We are not that. So if you're looking for that meme coin technology, we're not it. We are building a serious AI project which needs billions of dollars and years of making, right? What we are is at the cusp. We have the technology because we have spent the last 3-4 years building it. What we do have also is the way to make it more efficient so we don't spend billions and billions of dollars. The value will come through. Now, patience is what is needed, and not just, well, I'm dumping the token and I'm off. Well, okay, then this token is definitely not for you. I'm not saying, let's piss off the community, but I just want to be honest with you. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Neither can all my fellow uh, projects. We will just not be able to be a meme economy. We cannot go up like crazy, and we don't want to come down like crazy.
That's very understandable. And I mean, the memes have a certain place in a person's portfolio, in my opinion, and utility coins are different, right? They're just different. They're built different. And when they run, it's great. But when they don't do so well, people are looking at their memes, wondering why they're not doing the same thing. I understand that. So let's get into our next question here. So why hasn't the ticker changed from FET to ASI? Some people think that this means that the merger's not yet fully done. I get this question a ton. And can you clear up the status for that and give us
Yeah,
some kind of indication of when this is going to happen?
absolutely. So, first question first. Why is it not done yet? So we went to all the exchanges, and I have tried to explain this previously, but I hope you can maybe do a better job on it. You go to the exchanges and you say to them, hey, I want to change this ticker symbol from FET to ASI. It should be an easy job, right? No, because what happens is that you have to do a completely new smart contract. You have to do a completely new ticker to go onto the exchanges. You lose all the historic data which algorithms rely on to trade. So you have to write that off completely. So a new ticker is a complete new project, and it gets treated like a new project, for which most exchanges require you to make a huge deposit on their exchanges, which then the community would go, hey, you gave them tokens for free, and now they're dumping on us, right? You can see what is coming after that. So that's one point I want to make very clear. When you change a ticker, and this was not very clear when we did the merger, so we thought, okay, I mean, we changed the name to ASI Alliance. It doesn't matter what the ticker is called, FET, ASI, AGIX or Singa. I mean, it could have been any. FET just had a ring to it. It had some more community to it, so we just kept FET.
So is there a way that you would be able to change it, say, in the decentralized side of things without maybe addressing the centralized exchanges?
So what the confusion came, and then that's what stopped us. So what was happening was people were getting messages and emails saying, "Oh, convert to ASI right now," right? And then people were being scammed. When we did transition from AGIX to Ocean to, we had so many scam migration contracts. People started converting tokens into God knows what and lost all their tokens. And so we saw all of that. What we want to do is so there is a network which we're building which is to do with running agents, running intelligences on chain in a network. And I think you've seen Ben has been talking about it, which is the ASI network. That so there is no point trying to do one transition from everything into FET, then doing another FET into ASI1, losing all the data one time, and then doing a network, complete new network, which interoperates but is built for ASI to actually work with ASI, and then doing another upgrade. So it causes confusion. It will cause scams. It will cause a lot of people to lose a lot of money. We lose the history. So the trading bots will not be trading your token or our token. So volumes will drop. And guess what's going to happen then? Then they're going to say, well, why the hell did you do that? If you knew that, why did you do that? So this is all cards on the table. I've given you everything as it is.
Okay. So yeah, I can see how it would mess up like futures trading and things like that. And that was kind of the original reason that was given to me. You're going on centralized exchanges trading futures. If the ticker were to change, that means they basically have to close everybody's positions.
Yeah.
So, if you're in profit or if you're in a loss or whatever, it doesn't matter. They'd shut it down. They'd shut down trading completely. And, you'd either, gain a little bit or you'd lose some as well. So I can see where that would mess things up for sure. So in my opinion, I know I'm a little bit divided on this with the community because I see the issue and the tech side of things, and I understand why changing the ticker is not as simple as many people might think it is. And I understand that. And even though I might not be on the side of some people in the community, and I'm here to address community concerns, I do understand this part. I understand why it can't just be, boom, change the ticker. It's just not the way it works.
We are planning, and unfortunately, it takes time. Once our network is up and running, and you will see the testnet coming sometime soon. I think Ben is leading that project, so I'll kind of defer to Ben, and I would be very happy if you invited him for maybe he can give an understanding of why we're doing this network, and it's an amazing technology, and I think you guys are gonna love it. I mean, the community would love to hear more about it in a more simplistic way, because there is a lot of information, but I think sometimes you can just get lost in it. But I think Ben can explain that. And we're waiting on the tech to kind of testnet to come out. And then after the testnet, we're going to launch the mainnet. And at that point, it would be a reasonable point where we can say, okay, let's plan now for that disruption. Make sure people don't get scammed. Make sure the positions don't get closed. We give people enough notice. Because it's not as easy as just saying, hey, tomorrow we're going to change the ticker. We saw this in 3 or 4 projects, and I'm sure you saw it in Matic when they went Polygon. I mean, the whole thing was a chaotic mess. And we learned from that. We were about to do that, and we didn't want to do that. So, and then we know that we're going to launch a new network, and then it's going to be another disruption. So let's just be peaceful. That you can still trade the same project. You can still trade it. It's still FET. Nothing has changed in terms of it is ASI. It is an alliance token. If you go to the description, you'll see the name of the project. A simple ticker change, if that makes people so happy, then we are on it. We are trying to do that anyway.
I think it would, in the end, make people happy as long as they know it's coming. If you're able to give us an update down the road when we could potentially see that would be great after you guys kind of get things rolling.
You'll get
obviously your testnet coming and stuff.
Yeah, you'll get updates on the network itself. And as the network matures and becomes mainnet, as we're about to make it mainnet, there will be a big event. So I think everybody will know about it. I'm expecting this to happen next year. I mean, the dates have been given from Ben roughly are Q2, Q3 next year.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks for clearing that up. So building on that, it's important that we address the financial health and mechanics that support the tokens ecosystem as well. So in this part of questions, we're going to dive into treasury management, tokenomics, etc., particularly around supply dynamics, dilution risks, and ensuring transparency in holdings to maintain a balanced and appealing structure for stakeholders. Now, there is a concern about the token supply being diluted without strong plans to reduce supply. You did touch on this a bit. This makes staking and holding a little bit less appealing. People really want to lock up their tokens when they're seeing the project kind of lose value? How can ASI maintain a healthy balance of tokenomics and ecosystem goals as well?
Well, I've given you the products, right? I mean, if you look at if I project some revenues, for example. So let's do this please do not hold me, because I don't know what the pricing would look like in 3 months' time. But let's look at, for example, somebody using a large language model today in terms of ChatGPT. Let's put some numbers together. A very basic package is what pro package is $25-$30 per month, right? And I think that's, and let's call it $10 for our project when we actually launch it and start charging for it. So that's $10. Let's look at some of the coding platforms, which I've told you we'll be releasing soon. You'll see that it's costing people $1,200 a month effectively for developers to use. Let's call it, we're going to charge them $200, right? Because we didn't spend billions and billions of dollars, which people think we did. We didn't. I mean, we're not that cash rich. Then you have the agents, and you go on agent platforms and see, to build and run an agent per annum, what does it, what do they charge you? It can be somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 a year, right? Or let's call it monthly. Again, $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Let's say we're going to charge them $200. So let's say in total, effectively per month, we should be charging people over time $10 for the basic users of large language models. Let's say, and as I say, we're gaining 15, 20,000 users every month. Let's say we pick up some speed. Worst case scenario, we get to a couple of million people. Don't forget, the others are having like hundreds of millions of people. So I'm trying to be conservative as can be. So 2 to 3 million people use the product. They use $10. They pay us $10 a month. Right? That's your basic large language model numbers, right? And let's say we're running on costs of 30-40%. So let's say 50%. So that's $10 million a month.
Yeah.
Right? Add that other services that we're bringing in, where brands and businesses are going to run some agents. Let's say that's another $5 to $10 million a month. So you're looking at, just on Fetch side, this is not network costs or anything. You're probably looking around $20 to $30 million a month. That's what I'm hoping that we will get to when we're properly up to speed. How is that going to equate into token pressure? Well, as I said, earn and burn, that was why we set the scene already, that we are about to build products. We're going to be launching these products. A portion of that will be used to buy back the token. That's how much? I don't know at the moment, because we need to make sure we take care of the costs. We make sure we do that. But a percentage of that we'll use every month. And I can't report that every month, because we have to report it either quarterly or half yearly. We won't be able to do monthly, because the time and effort involved to reconcile is too much. That will be your buyback, and that buyback is it's substantial. I mean, it's more substantial than any project can kind of come and say to you, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And I mean, these products are not the full set of the products. I've said I've only given you the Fetch products. I've not given you the Kudos products, or Singularity products, or Ocean products. I don't know. I don't deal with those products, because although they're part of the ASI Alliance, they have their own product roadmap. But we have a combined roadmap of ASI, where we have the compute layer, we have the data set layer, we have what Fetch is building, which I've gone through in detail. So, and the Singularity, the network that they're building in terms of how ASI is going to run. So there'll be network fees will probably equate to maybe, I mean, if we're running that much revenue, if people are using it that much, as I was saying, the network revenue will also be, maybe half of that. So you're going to see that per month. Now, I don't see that many projects telling me, we're going to generate 25 to 30 million a month, right? In in net numbers. Now, I can't guarantee it because this is our business plan. This is our business plan. Is it going to be successful? What is the market going to be doing in 3 months? I don't know. All I can do is build the product and take it to the market. That's what I can do.
So, in that regard, and just how we previously spoke about, reaching outside of crypto, this model should be sustainable, even depending on not dependent on the crypto market, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If you're bringing utility, the project should be sustainable regardless of what the market's doing.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole idea is that do you think in the world we can get 2 million people to use an LLM, which is not the best, because we didn't spend billions, but it's good enough and it's a quarter of the price. Do you think people can use it? Probably. As you said, there is utility for this product. I mean, we're targeting marketplaces like India. We're targeting students. India usage is up and up and up, but they don't want to pay ChatGPT money. They don't want to pay Mistral money. They don't want to pay Claude money. Claude is expensive if you want to code. We're launching something at a fraction of the cost, and they can build software at a fraction of the cost. Why? Because we didn't go out and spend and raise billions of dollars, which other projects do and still don't deliver. We were sensible with our cash.
And in turn, you can offer it at a better price for your customers. So, yeah. Do you have any idea of how many paying customers you might have so far?
Well, at the moment,
Is there...
we're not asking people to pay at the moment. We're just asking them to hold 100 FET if they want to use it. So we currently have we're gaining, like, the people who actually hold 100 FET. We're gaining month on month at average 5,000 to 7,000 people every month. So who are holding the FET. Now it's growing. It's not slowing, because as the quality of the product is growing and the utility is growing, the number of people holding that FET is also growing. We are very likely in the next couple of months to start charging people, because we are seeing a lot of API access, because a lot of businesses are now starting to use ASI 1 model, and and especially when coding comes, that you're going to see API calls go through the roof, because if you're coding, and this is going to be fairly serious, and I'm sure you will cover this as we release it. But once that happens, then we're expecting the revenue to start coming in.
That would be fantastic, and that would be great for us long-term holders as well. So, let's go on to... So there are bigger frustrations about possible market manipulation. So we're still staying on top of, like, the tokenomics and the actual coin here. So there is possible, what people are saying is possible market manipulation or selling within the alliance. So how much FET tokens does the alliance and the respective foundations hold, and are wallets made public for transparency?
I can only talk about Fetch. I cannot talk about all the alliance members, and I'm very open for you to question them independently. And we actually, Fetch Foundation is reasonably available. We just staked, I think, in excess of 60 million tokens, FET tokens, on the network, and because there was a discrepancy in the decentralization, so we went behind different validators, smaller validators. I think there's several smaller validators which we felt could do with the support. We staked. This is on the network. I think it's around 60 to 70 million FET. We staked it. It's there. There is a foundation wallet which is holding another 35, 40 million tokens, which is public. If you search for it, you'll find it. Combine those together, that's what Fetch Treasury is. The rest of it is out, because we've spent the money. You don't think that we built it for free, right? This whole technology that we've been building, which people have been spending billions, and we've done it in less than tens of millions. Of course, we have spent our treasury, but we hold, in Fetch Foundation, we hold around 100 million token, 100 and something million token, I'm quite happy to publish those things. And I think Nico, who is our community representative who kind of bridges with us, I will make sure, I mean, don't hold me on the date, but it shouldn't take us too long, maybe a few days, maybe next week. I will be able to publish the foundation tokens, which we have already staked on the network. So if I've staked it, if the foundation has staked it, well, we can't touch it for 21 days anyway. So I don't know who thinks that Fetch is dumping, because we're there. And on top of that, which this is something I cannot make it public, but I can announce it. I bought, within the foundation, we bought $30 million worth of FET over the last 2 months. And we plan to do another 10 million in the next coming month. So that's our treasury.
That's your treasury. Okay.
I can't tell you about Ocean. I can't tell you about Singularity. And I think people should question them for their portion.
Absolutely. And teams being transparent about how many tokens they have is definitely something that we need to see. And so can you tell me, has the treasury sold, or has the has the foundation sold any tokens? I've heard people saying that they have. I haven't seen any proof of that though. So I just want to
that's why, because we haven't. I mean, Fetch, I am, as I said, I'm only responsible for Fetch Treasury, and I'm going to tell you about the Fetch Treasury. You can go and see the tokens being staked. They were done a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. So
okay,
it's there. They're there. You can type in Fetch Foundation and find the wallet. You can see it. No token has moved in the last 2 months, 3 months, or whatever. So people saying we're dumping, I'm dumping, or Fetch is a scam and they're dumping, is bullshit.
interesting. Okay. All right. I'll have to look into that a little bit more as well. And if you're willing to publish,
I'm not
wallets,
responsible.
that'd be great.
I just want to make clear, I'm not responsible for Singularity. I'm not responsible for Ocean. I'm not responsible for Kudos. I'm responsible for Fetch Foundation, and I've given you the details.
Perfect. Appreciate that. So where do the rewards come from? Out of what pool? Out of whose pocket? For people who are staking on the network, where do they come from?
So the token is 2% deflationary. So 2% of tokens, and that's part of the whole network. I mean, most tokens who are running network have a mechanism to reward, and that comes at 2%, and that's just given back to the stakeholders, the people who stake. So if you stake, that's roughly 2%. So that's kind of the reward mechanism.
Is that like from transactional fees? Kind of goes to the validator and goes back.
Fees goes into that pot, and then we get it distributed to the stakers.
Okay. All right. That's understandable. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Burns and buybacks and trust we're going to talk about next. I know we've talked a little bit about burns and such for already, but we'll get a little bit deeper into it. Let's tackle some of the more pressing community concerns. Final section dedicated to burns, buybacks, and restoring trust. We're going to examine past promises, some communication strategies, and steps to stabilize the token's performance, and addressing perceptions of under-delivery and rebuilding confidence with holders. So some holders have lost trust due to what they call misleading announcements or teasing ideas without following through. How is the team fixing these views? What plans is there for clearer communication on burns and buybacks in the future? For reference, there was a 50 million Fetch Foundation buyback announced on June 19th. I actually went back and I checked, make sure that I had this information correct, and I saw your post. Has that buyback of the 50 million from the Fetch Foundation occurred?
I just told you we bought roughly $30 million already, and we intend to buy another 10 million, and then we'll see what we do with the rest 10. So yes, 30 million is already bought. So 50 million TRNR. They have done and announced it separately. It's public. And I'm telling you, $30 million worth of FET has been bought. And you will see it being staked very soon. And then that would be the evidence for you that it was staked. And then
you're doing another 20 million. You're going to be like bumping back. You said 50.
30 million already done, 10 million will be done in this month, and I don't know at what point, because we have to just buy it when we can buy it. And
Okay.
after that, it will be staked on the network, and it's open to the public. You can go now and check that we have recently staked, as I said, a month ago or something. We've staked what, 60, 70 million dollars worth of tokens. So it's not hidden from anybody. It's easy for somebody to not do the work and then just call it that, oh yes, you've done this for me. No, just give me evidence first.
Okay. Understandable. So, okay. So there's the 30 million, like you mentioned, and then the subsequent amounts will be just down the road. Okay. So buybacks are seen as good by some people, but unsustainable or desperate by others. Some people think, there's false promises behind them and et cetera, without real long-term effects, not sustainable. And how do you handle this mixed feedback? And what measures do you use to check if buybacks are actually helping the token's value?
I don't do buybacks to help tokens price. As a foundation and as one of the members of board of the foundation, my objective is not that. My objective is, and it applies to any commercial entity, and you have seen this in stock exchanges. If a project or a company thinks their token is undervalued, and if they have the money, they should buy it. I expect revenues to flow into this project. I expect Fetch to make money, and I expect to buy even more tokens, and I think it's undervalued still. If I look at any of, as I said, let's look at some technology companies. Let's look at not look at ChatGPT, because that's pointless exercise. They've spent billions and gazillions or whatever. Let's look at smaller projects like Anthropic and Mistral, and and do you know Anthropic just raised $100 billion at a 383 billion valuation.
I did not.
Sorry,
Wow.
$10 billion. They raised $10 billion at a 383 billion valuation. What is the valuation of this company? What is the valuation of a company which holds a large language model, an agent platform? cryptoAI just raised money, which is an agentic platform. This is what I mean. Crypto needs to get some sense in itself. But let's look at parallels where our technology is not any worse, but just exists in a different sector. So let's look at cryptoAI. cryptoAI is valued at $10 billion. cryptoAI is a startup which builds agents. It's an agent framework. Let's look at some of the others. I mean, let's go out and let's work out. So now take a project which has a large language model, which is okay. It's not as fast as ChatGPT, but we're not expecting to be valued at 500 billion. It's good enough. It gives you decent responses. People will use it. You have an agent platform which connects and makes a Google-like discovery into a large language model. And as I told you, there is no other platform where you can just go start speaking to an agent. Find me one, right? What is the value of that? So I feel personally, and I feel as Fetch Foundation's board member, I feel we are highly undervalued. And just for those two things, forget about the rest of the stack.
Am I allowed to ask you? And you can decline to answer this because I'm not sure what the implications are for asking you this or for you answering. What do you feel like the FET token is valued at? What would be reasonable for you? If you can answer that.
A fraction of what people are currently raising money on would be interesting. So I gave you an example. Anthropic raised at a 383 billion valuation. The only difference is they have people using it and their product is out. Our product is not fully out yet, right? So if I look at their customer base, and this is kind of how I showed you the calculation. If you look at the calculation, if people using ChatGPT, there is 1.5 billion people using it, or like 1 billion people are using it, and if I can get 2 million people to use ASI 1 model, right?
Mhm.
And they're valued at almost $700 billion. Well, I should at least expect to be $10 billion worth, right?
Yes, I agree. And like you were saying, a goal of yours is, 10, 20 million in revenue a month, potentially, like, really.
So when
That's
people say you're doing buybacks, I'm not doing buybacks to raise the price. That would be market manipulation. I don't do it for that. What I'm saying is the Fetch Foundation feels and Fetch Project feels that we are hugely undervalued. The amount of technology we have built under Fetch, under ASI Alliance, is not valued correctly. I can't deal with the sentiment. People have the sentiment, they can say whatever they say. If they cannot see the product delivery that we've been doing, then I can't help it. So what I'm saying is, okay, if you're going to sell, I'm going to buy, and I'm open in buying it. I personally am buying it. I'm also buying it as a foundation, and I'm going to continue to raise funds around it with different funds, and I will still keep buying because I feel we are hugely undervalued. And at one time, people will see it.
I agree. I've always said that FET was undervalued. I actually looked before we started the interview today. I went back to look and see when my first purchase was. It was July of 2021. I've been accumulating since then. Obviously, I took a bit of profits towards when the merger was announced, but um, yeah, I've always thought it was undervalued. Just I
Also,
saw the value that you guys.
for sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to say, okay, look, I mean, when these people come and say, hey, you're a scam, okay, fine. I mean, you, how long have we been here, right? What have we not done? First IEO, first merger, first LLM in the decentralized space, right? Um, one of the first, maybe not the first, because I think there was a couple other projects, small ones, tested it out, went on to the Nasdaq. Now look, everybody's doing it, right?
One of the
So
first treasuries.
so so that's what I mean. So we have been trying to do things which innovate. Now, if you can't see that, then I can't change that. I mean, we've showed it, we've explained it. Yes, we have been lacking in communication once in a while, but give me a break. I run on shoestring budget. I don't go spending 300 people working for me. We roll down our sleeves and we are working in the trenches ourselves. So, maybe I missed out on some marketing, right? But we have been delivering product. Who says we haven't delivered the product? I would like to call them out.
Now, there has been quite a few community members saying that things weren't delivered, but
Tell
if
me.
they're not giving examples, I can't bring that to you. Like I can't, I tried to look back and see, try and get some constructive feedback because that's what I really go for. You can't just say something's a scam without telling me why you think it's a scam. And really, those people that are out there saying it's a scam, they don't really have much to go on other than just words. I haven't seen anywheres where proof that the Treasury was that or that the foundation was selling or what have you. And you said you're willing to make those wallets, transparent and visible to the community. So like I really don't understand there where that's coming from because like I said, I went back months on social media. I went back for the last quite a few months to find some of the most pressing questions that we're asking you today, and I haven't found any proof of that. So um, I'd really got nothing really to say about the people who are saying it's a scam. And I know some people are concerned it's falling out of the top 50 with rankings, despite the merger, despite the LLM, despite everything that's been going on. There has been a lot of positives with the alliance, right? So, what do you think's causing it to fall out of the top 50? What strategies are you using to make the price more stable? You touched on that quite a bit, and make FET more attractive to new investors.
Uh, Well, I think community can play a very important role in it. If you're holding the token, spread positivity, not negativity. I mean, I've given you everything. I mean, what more can I give you? I mean, apart from, so what I'm looking for as a project is community support. I'm saying, hey, other people's community shill shit projects and be very positive about it. I'm giving you the products and you still being calling me scam. I mean, how's that fair? I mean, what do you expect me to do? I've spent 5 6 years of my life building the product. For whom? I mean, for the community, for our token holders. And maybe perhaps you should be telling the world what we have been doing rather than calling it, oh, negative, negative, negative. I mean, if you have negativity and it's rightly founded, I'm here to answer it. I'm sitting with you. Give me what I promised and I didn't deliver. Yes, sometimes things have to change, right? You just mentioned something which is quite interesting. Let's look at, if I burnt 10 million tokens, if the Fetch Foundation burnt 10 million tokens today, where do you think the ranking will go?
10 million tokens? Maybe gain a couple spots.
No,
It's not
it'll
really
go
going
down.
to
It will go down because
go down.
you'll remove the market cap, you'll reduce the market cap, you'll burn the tokens. If the price doesn't go up, it will go down. The ranking will go down unless the price goes up. How's the price going to go? I mean, is 10 million going to increase the price by God knows how long? No, because it's just doing burn for the sake of keeping community happy is not interesting. When I announced the method is called earn and burn. It was never said burn and burn. Earn and burn means I have to earn it. And I'm not saying we're not earning it. It's just that the timing has to be right to burn it. So bear with me. We're sucking up the supply from the market. I'm buying. Funds are buying. There's more funds coming to buy. Let's see how we go, and let's then create the earning to buy back even more, and then burn the token.
Well, and to answer your question, that's what's going to cause the price to go up, and for FET to come back into the top 50 is more of a supply shock thing, and that's going to happen by taking some tokens out of circulation, eventually by burning, and the burns all add up. But you're right, like you have to have a sustainable model where you have, you're earning and part of your revenue is going towards a burn, creating that supply shock.
That's
So
right.
that's more of a
That's
stability.
what we're trying to do. It's taking a little bit longer because the market hasn't been very supportive. I mean, you have seen it. I mean, it's
Oh
not
yes.
just us. We have lost places, but the market hasn't been that great. I mean, so we're trying to do it in the right way, and I think that doesn't always work for crypto because the right way takes a bit longer, and we're trying to do it building the product, building the revenue, building the buyback strategy. And I'm telling you, just look at the tech stack we have. What's the value? It's not 1.6 billion, or whatever it is right now for the whole tech stack. I mean, people are raising money, crazy money, for not much more than just a open source deployed LLM.
That's true. That's true. I think a lot of those funds that raise money are based on like promises, and again, once they launch or once they do whatever they're going to do, their value is going to decrease
Well, I mean,
because
look
people
at
have
the
this
World
perception.
Yeah,
You know,
World Liberty Finance. If they can't hold it, I mean, what chance have we got? I mean, let's do it in the right way. We don't have communities' money. We're not doing that strategy. And if you're looking for that strategy, then this is the wrong project. And as I said, I'm 100% sure we are hugely undervalued, and I'm going to keep buying as personally as a foundation. And I think there's value in this project.
okay, I
But I
appreciate that.
talk
I
for
do.
Fetch and myself. I don't talk for other partners of the alliance.
Understandable. Now I do have 2 questions left. So this one is, again, kind of going on the trust topic that we're doing. The community feels there's a little bit of a relaxed attitude or gaps in communication, leading to lost trust. And some have even accused the team of lying or ignoring tough questions. I do see quite a few questions being asked under comments on some of your X posts, not specifically you, but maybe the ASI handle itself. And people are asking some of these questions that I'm asking you today, but a lot of them seem to get ignored. So what changes are you going to be making to be more transparent, like regular updates and AMAs, more interaction with the community?
I do spaces sessions quite regularly. Whenever community feels I need to do it, I do it. I don't. We are on a mission, and community wants me to succeed in that mission because that's what's going to increase the token price. And the mission is to build and deliver the product. It's not to just tell you bullshit, which I don't want to do. And if that's what is expected of me, then I shall not do it.
Please don't bullshit. No.
Clear, direct question and a direct answer. You're going to call me a scam, give me the evidence. You're going to call me a liar, tell me about it. If I don't reply to you in the right way, if I don't give you a full answer, then I'm guilty. But I'm sitting here with you answering all the questions. So it's not relaxed attitude. Trust me when I say this. The schedule is busy. We are building and we're competing in a centralized space because we don't just want to build a solution for decentralized space. Look around the pace of development. You blink and somebody has come up with something. If we don't keep that, breakneck pace, we're going to lose. And I don't want to do that. So, because that would be the most dishonest thing I can do for the community, not be focused on delivering the product. That's all I can do. I cannot pump the price. I cannot change the market. I cannot do any of those things. I don't want to go pumping the price and then dumping on people. That's not what I will do. What I promise you is that you will have the products. What I promise you is we will generate the revenue because we have built the right products. So if somebody wants more clarity, how long did it take? You posted it. I said to you, okay, get me on your show. How long did it take? Maybe a day, less than a day. So
If that, yeah.
I'm listening, but I'm not.
You're very open.
I'm not always on Twitter. My team is. If you have a problem with ASI, we hired David Taylor, which we announced. You have a dedicated person. Go and tell him what you want to hear. He can arrange all of that. I have Nico, who's a huge community representative. He can be very painful to me, not just the community. Nico can be painful to me because he represents community. He doesn't work for me. He works for the community. So all the answers, and sometimes, I just can't give you the answer. If you're asking me, what did TRNR buy? I don't have the answer because TRNR is not, they're not responsible to give me what they did or what they didn't do. So they will announce it publicly. They're bound by public markets, not me, or not by crypto community. I mean, crypto community wants an answer every 2 minutes. I'm happy to comment on some of the things, but I can't comment on public markets. So technology, product, we're building. You don't like the product, tell us about it. You want to change the product, tell us about it. We're listening. We're always listening. I said this in my previous spaces. I come on spaces. I'm very open with everybody. Ask me anything. It's really an AMA. So I'm going to do this again. If you want another one, but I can't do it every day. I can't just. If I sat on X and commented like Elon Musk, I need to be that kind of a billionaire. I'm not. I don't have time to sit on X continuously answering messages.
So you mentioned that you're hands-on in building. Are you do you consider yourself like a programmer? Like, what's kind of your role there, apart from, founder, CEO kind of thing?
Well, I call myself janitor. So any kind of shit that happens, I have to clean it up, right? So that's
you're plunging the toilet.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if you post a negative review on me, somebody tells me, and you want to have a chat with me, I'm here. I'm the one who takes the shit. So, but you have to have a direction. You have to have adaptability. You need to keep on looking at the market. You need to see what's coming next. You need to predict. We predicted agents are coming, right? I predicted 5 years ago agents are coming. Look where there we are. So let's use the right things to predict the right things. I know where the technology is moving. I was the first investor in DeepMind. I mean, nobody actually even knew how to use AI, right? So let's just put things in perspective and see what we are trying to do here. And it's not an easy one. And people who don't want this. I mean, I can't help that, right? But if you want a bet on technology and on the right technology, I don't think you're going to find a better project in decentralized space than Fetch. Look around. People promising large language models, billions of dollars going to be spent, delivered nothing. People are talking about agent. What happened to those agent startups that came along and built these one agent and then raised shitload of money, and where are they now? We're still here.
Nowhere
And
to
you,
be found. Mhm. Yeah, that's a very good answer. You know, like I said, it's one of those things where, you know, like I like how you said that. It's not a, you know, if you don't like what we're doing, go away. You said, if you don't like what we're doing, let us know why you don't like it. And, you know, you obviously you're willing to kind of work things to build things for the people who are using it. And I like the fact that you guys are going to be going outside of the crypto space and looking at companies and things, because I think that's more sustainable. I think crypto is it can be kind of niche oriented, right? Yeah, yes, we're here, we're part of the decentralized space, but not everybody is. And not everybody's comfortable with crypto, and just the fact that, you know, you're going to be branching out and being able to pay in, you know, dollars instead of crypto is a good thing, and turning it into still using that as an earn and burn mechanism. So let's get into our last question. So this is the one pretty much everybody's been here for, the main question that everybody's been asking. Many community members are concerned about promises for regular token burns announced in the earn and burn announcement. Except for a small 5 million token burn in January, this promise hasn't been kept yet. And can you update us on the burn program? Is the team reviewing it for long-term stability? And when can the community expect the next burn?
so first thing I want to correct is the community needs to understand it's earn and burn. We didn't just sit one day and whimsically just came up with let's burn the token. That was not the objective. Community wanted a burn, and community wanted a mechanism to either shrink the supply or lock up the supply. That was what community wanted from us. That's what I sat down and we tried to plan. So we didn't say, oh, we're just going to go burn things. We said we're going to earn and burn. The reason why we could do the first 5 million is because Foundation had earned by staking some of the tokens, which we, instead of giving it back to the community, because community said burn the tokens, not don't give it back to us, burn them. We burned them. So community, the Fetch Foundation was sitting on a earned amount of tokens, which we burnt, right? We burnt almost 40% of our earnings that we had, 40 or 50%. Now, and I made it very clear, and I think people who say otherwise are incorrect, because if you go and listen to any of the spaces sessions I've done, I've always said my strategy is to make this product earn, and then we will burn out of the profitability, because that is a more sustainable method of burning, which I think, I mean, I give it to Binance. Binance did it quite well because Binance accrued the fees, and then they burnt when the timing is right, they burnt the token, and that BNB burn was the right thing to do. And I kind of take lesson from it, and I listened to the community and who said we want to burn the token. Now, but what then became is that our product was not released. You know, we were slightly late in releasing the product. We were also we were going to put a fee on it straight away, but we decided not to, because now you have this competition. If you don't offer the premium product, people don't onboard on such a platform. Nobody's going to come and say, okay, I'm going to pay $10, but I don't know what I'm going to get. So you're going to give them the opportunity to adapt to the product. So now we're seeing that change where people are coming in. As soon as we start generating some revenue, we're going to burn a portion of it. And that promise stands and has done since I announced it. So nothing has changed. We will do exactly that. Also, any fees from the network that Foundation earns, Fetch Foundation, I'm not talking about anybody else's foundation. None of this is any other foundations. You know, they you know, if they want to burn, they can burn, but we are burning from our revenues. So there will be another burn coming, and I will announce it in the sense that so there are multiple things happening. The biggest thing the community wants is to soak up the supply from the market, because the market is, you know, we're an old project. We're not a new project. If you think about a project which has started a year ago, 2 years ago, they have locked up treasuries. We don't have that. all our treasuries are open. We just don't spend it. We're doing it because we believe in the project. So, I could have easily, I would be within my legal right as a foundation. Our foundation would be to sell all of it and leave. That would not be called scam because our time is up. We're 5 years old project. We're done. That's not the point, though. Well, the point is, I want to prove to our community that that's not what we intend to do. What we intend to do is pull the supply. So we need to find these funds who can pull the supply out of the market and lock it up. So we're not just saying, well, pull it up and just leave it. No, we have to lock it up so that we can actually secure the network with it. Otherwise, what's the point? Again, completing the cycle. That's the intention. So there will be a burn coming. I don't want to tell you the date right now, but there will be income which the foundation has generated, and a portion of that will be burned. We're not going out spending it. We're keeping it. But what is more important? Is it to burn another 10 million tokens, or is it more important to actually suck up 500 million tokens out of the market? So we're focusing on taking the supply out of the market.
I agree with that, and I was gonna say the same thing. It's people are more worried about the dilution that the merger had caused, and taking the supply out of the market is probably the most beneficial thing that you can do for long-term stability, because all these earn and burn situations are going to add up, and they're going to increase to an X number of tokens over the course of however long you're doing this. So can you anticipate any kind of a time frame? I know you're not going to give exact dates or anything like that, but are you going to say, within the next 6 months there's going to be a burn, and next 3 months there's going to be a burn? Do you have any kind of an inclination?
Yes, I think within a 6 months, definitely, and I think in the next 3 months, I will aim to deliver some kind of direction on how and how much. So that's my hope. At the moment, I think what would be quite detrimental to the project is if you burn X number of tokens and your market cap drops and you go out of the top 100.
That's your concern.
That is my concern. Because if you think about it, there is not much gap, right? If we're down to 60, burn another 10 million tokens, you'll be down to 80. It's this, as we go down, the gap is shrinking. So, if we do that, our trading volumes will be halved. Our trading volumes are not that great. Yeah, we were trading at some point $1 billion a day. We're now up to $100 million a day. So you drop out of the top 100, you're going to be at 2-3 million. Nobody will be liquidating. Or 1-2 million liquidation will, completely tank the price. I'm not trying to do financial engineering, but this is common sense. So what I think is fair for the community is to try and find a way to suck out the supply. And there is one misconception which I really want to actually correct it, if I may. This dilution effect, which was caused by the merger, is actually an incorrect representation of what. So if you had 50,000 people, we're now going to keep the same 50,000 people, and we're going to increase the supply by 3 times. That's not what happened. What we did was we took 2 other projects who had 2 other communities who were holding the token. We sucked those tokens out and then issued the new token. So there was no dilution. This is a perception of people.
It is. I tried to address this on a couple of videos, because if you're adding to the token supply, but you're also taking the liquidity from that project that merged in with you and adding that into the FET liquidity, and it's somewhat stabilizing the price.
Yeah. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not dilution. And again, this is unfortunate that our community is the one who's saying that. Community should understand it and be positive about the project. Unless we're doing something really wrong, we have been delivering new things, new projects, new everything. So community needs to get behind it. So I would urge the community, ask whatever you want, but then become part of it. Let's go and tell people how undervalued this project is, rather than just saying, well, it's the price isn't going up. Well, maybe you have a part to play in this too, as much as I do.
That's true. And I always say, don't fudge your own bags. Like, if you're an investor, why are you out there putting, putting negative thoughts in other people's heads when you're trying to bring in new investors?
But that to me sounds like there are some people who want to do it because they want you to go to a different project. Because a lot of the comments I see, oh, I stole all these Fed bags and I went and bought this shitcoin. Well, okay. Well, I mean, okay. I mean, it's
And
fine.
those are the types of comments that I tried to filter out for this interview. I just so you know, those are the types I didn't want to include. Just because you're right that it's more like shilling, right? They're, hey, I sold this to go to this. Good for you.
we are partners in this. We are partners in this. That I'm working my ass off to get you the products and get this project going. And you're my partners. Community is my partner, our partner, foundation's partner, the project's partner. They should be supporting the project. They shouldn't be saying, it's like saying I have a lot of people, who I'm working with. If they're going to make the project sound bad, I mean, who else will come along? See,
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. So you're putting a request into the community to basically try to be more positive and be more open and have patience and kind of have some trust in the team to bring these deliverables to them. And in turn, you're going to be transparent, work on communication and, try to kind of get these questions answered a little bit more. Because I watched a number of weeks go by where people asking about the burn and there was no reply. It was just crickets. So, if you're asking the community to be, more positive, the project also has to be more open. Do you agree?
Okay. That, of course, I agree. I mean, I didn't feel that was the case, but if you're telling me that's the case, then that is the case. So we should be more vigilant. I will make sure. As I said, I don't read all the comments. Now, if my community moderators have, not responded, I mean, as I said, Nico is pretty hot on it. A lot of the community, and now we actually hired a dedicated person. The ASI Alliance has it. David Taylor. Hit him up. I mean, I'm sure he will make sure I answer the question. All the answers can't come from me, right? There are other alliance members. If their questions are for them, I can't answer them. Then I can't answer them.
I did go to him first before I even put that post out or made that video. I did go to DT first, and I said, what's going on with the burns? Letting you know I'm making this video, so I just wanted to let him know that it was coming. So just wanted to get the community's questions answered.
If you give me some allowance, I do check all the posts. I'll check as many as I can personally, because I don't want to lose touch from my community. I'm part of this community. I am member of this community. So I don't want it to be negative, but sometimes it's quite depressing to just keep seeing negative, negative, negative. I mean, if you're my community and I'm your community and we're part of one, then let's create some positivity here. Yeah, that's what we need to do. If we want this project to succeed, let's bring some positivity. I promise you'll get the answers. You always get the answers. It might be a time delay, but get me on anytime. I'm happy to go on spaces anytime. But there is no point in me just going on the spaces, 10 people turning up, nothing to say, and off we go again. Okay, I mean, what's the point in that? So maybe sometimes when community gets passionate and we get this kind of discussion going, then it kind of makes me passionate in telling you what's going on.
I can tell you're passionate today.
Well, it's coming from right. I'm not making it up. It's not written down. I didn't read your questions. I didn't read any of it, so I don't know what you were going to ask me. But I had a sense because I do check on the community pulse.
Well, it's very appreciated. That's great, and I thank you very much for coming on with me today. You actually reached out, you posted on X and said, hey, bring me on your podcast. And I thought, wow, okay, cool. I've never done an interview before on my channel. This is the first. And, and I always say to the community, and I always say in my videos, without trust and confidence in your community, it's really hard for it to grow and thrive. So we got to get that trust back. And like Humayun said, like, try to be a little more positive. And if you have questions, bring them up the right way. Have some constructive criticism. If you're going to go and call something out, at least have, some proof or something that they can look at to say, hey, yes, we did mess up, or no, that's not true. You know what I mean? So before we go, is there anything else that you would like to add for FET holders, or to give us any kind of inclination of where the broader ASI ecosystem is headed before we go?
Just give you a recap. We are launching products which are going to generate revenue within crypto and outside of crypto. We are competing with a market which is evolving and developing every second. So it's not by intent, it's by the sheer fact that I don't have enough hours in the day that I am working with my developers. We're all very busy. We run a very lean team. I mean, I don't go and hire 300-400 people from Silicon Valley. I run a lean team. And what that means is my time is engaged in building the product itself. I'm busy doing that as well. So my apologies if the community felt that I didn't respond in good time. But the one thing which is always on my mind is how my community is feeling about all the things that I do, and am I doing them right or am I doing them wrong? So my biggest focus is to do right for the community and do right for the project. So sometimes just having more positivity and being supportive to the project is all I'm asking from the community. I take
That's
everything.
fair.
I will try and change everything that we have done wrong.
That's fair. Okay. And is it okay if maybe we follow up in maybe a few months or so? I mean, I'm not going to take all of your time all the time, but maybe follow up in a few months and we can kind of just go over some of the progress that's been made from some of these questions that we're
I'd be
addressing today.
very happy to do that. I would love to do that.
Perfect.
That's not a problem. And I will have so many more products to show you. I will have revenue numbers and user numbers. I will be able to share that with you. Hopefully, even without the interview or anything, I will share that probably in the next coming weeks.
That's perfect. I really appreciate your time today. We went a little bit beyond how long I thought we were going to go for. We're almost about an hour and 36 minutes in right now. So I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate the community for showing up here today. We have quite a few people watching, and let's just I just encourage you guys, be supportive, be positive. If you have questions and concerns, like I said, make sure it's constructive. Let them know what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong, and that's absolutely okay. So, having said that, thank you so much, Humayun, for coming on today, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thank you.